Hello and a very warm welcome to Hail. We're in the north of Saudi Arabia for the 16th edition of Baja Hail. Once an important stopping point for pilgrims making their way to Mecca for the Hajj, Hail is now a city of around 600,000 inhabitants. It boasts some remarkable architecture and is also a significant agricultural centre known for its wheat, dairy and fruit products. This year, Hail will be hosting two separate Bahas, the final two rounds of the curtailed FIA World Cup season. Vehicles have been arriving in Saudi Arabia in recent days, and some of them will be staying here for over a month, with the 43rd edition of the Dakar Rally getting underway in Jeddah at the start of January. Well, plenty of big names have travelled here for this Hail double-header. Some fighting for the FIA cross-country Baja's crown, others just looking to test before the Dakar. That's the case for elite biker Adrian van Beveren, who's come here with just one mechanic. Well, some of the locals enjoying a front row seat of shakedown. This is actually the very first time that I've driven this car on the track. We need to do a bit of testing and hopefully we can have a successful event. Mr. Dakar himself is also in town. All the factory teams are here, so it's a bit like a dress rehearsal for the Dakar. We're going to do one Baja with the race car, around 400 kilometres, hopefully without destroying it. That way we can be sure that everything works before the Dakar. In the second Baja we'll use the test car, and I think Carlos and I will both be putting the hammer down a bit more in that test car. Nasser Al-Attiyah is a two-time winner here. I'm here in my second home, Hail. Today we've done some testing and things are looking good. Now I'm ready to tackle this first Baja Hail. So hopefully we can do a good job here before we start thinking about the Dakar. Meanwhile, local hero Yazid Al-Raji is chasing his 6th victory. Yeah, we need to win Baja Hail to prepare in the best possible way for the Dakar, which will be starting in a couple of weeks. We will try to keep our car in one piece and win the Baja. So this is what is facing the competitors over the next couple of days. Baja 1 will be held on Friday and Saturday, before Baja 2 on Tuesday and Wednesday. A total of 4 loops around the city with some very tricky navigation on the menu. Approximately 500 kilometres of timed section for each Baja. So strap yourselves in for what promises to be a fascinating 16th edition of this event. An early start on Friday morning as the competitors headed into the first special. These races are important because we've made adjustments to the car and we have to check everything's working before the Dakar. Look at this landscape, sand, everything I like. Day 1 and stage 1 kicks off with a spin northwest to Radifa and back, just over 250 kilometres of timed section on the menu. Well, this area boasts some of the most stunning scenery in the Arabian Peninsula, and it's a popular spot for local riders, as Adrian van Beveren was set to discover. The Frenchman getting underway in the bikes. There are also plenty of quads competing. Abdulaziz Al Shayban was 4th at the Hail Rally in February and 2nd fastest today. Leading the way is his fellow Saudi Riyad Al Shamari, winner of the International Stunt Championship in 2017. There were no real surprises in the bikes as the riders with the top 3 bib numbers set the pace. In 3rd was Saudi rider Michel Al-Ghanaim. He completed the Dakar on his debut last year and he's now preparing to tackle the rally again in the original by mature class. A couple of problems today. He took a spill in the camel grass and dropped around 40 minutes. Second place went to this man, Konrad Dabrowski. He is the son of Polish rally legend Marek Dabrowski, a three-time world champion who's come as high as 9th in the Dakar. Dabrowski Jr., who is just 19, enjoying himself on these sandy tracks, although he did have a few problems with navigation. Now Van Beveren took a comfortable victory, no real surprises there, but the Yamaha factory rider found it tougher going than he perhaps might have expected. Lots of tracks all over the sand, so it wasn't always easy for the riders to find their way. On top of that, the road books were only handed out in the morning, so not a great deal of time to study the route. Van Beveren crashed out on stage 3 of last year's Dakar, so he hasn't had too much experience of the Saudi terrain. The Frenchman looking to pick up some useful experience after a coronavirus-affected 2020. It was harder than I was expecting. It's proper navigation, a proper rally. For me, it's not a Baja, and I had to really focus today. Van Beveren at 25 minutes clear of Dabrowski, with Algonheim coming in a shade ahead of the first two quads. A tough day though for Fawaz Al Tuaimi, who lost almost 2 hours due to mechanical issues. My name is Abdallah Salah Al Saif. I'm 43 years old, and I've been crazy about motorsport since I was a little boy. My passion has developed over time as I've taken part in more and more competitions. I worked my way up to the Saudi Arabian Championship in 2018, and it was the first time that I had done a rally raid event.
كانت هي أول مشاركة لي في الراليات. موضوع دكار
I had always dreamed of doing the Dakar. Last year I signed up for the first time with the help of my country, Saudi Arabia. And this year I'm hoping to get an even better result and avoid making the same mistakes as last year. Motorsport is very popular in Saudi Arabia, and that's why there are so many rallies organised throughout the country. Federations are springing up all over the place, and they are developing more and more competitions. The popularity of the sport has really grown in recent years, and there are more and more people taking part in the various different rallies. I'm currently in 8th place in the World Cup standings. If I can take victory at the 2 Baja Hail events, then hopefully I should end up in a good position in the FIA World Cup classification. Onto the cars then, and there are 12 crews racing in the top category for the FIA World Cup. Vladimir Vasiliev is targeting the crown. He's currently lying second overall behind Bernhard ten Brinker. Nasser Al-Attiyah has taken part in Baja Hail twice in 2008 and 2011, and the Qatari claimed victory on both occasions. He is, after all, a master of the sands, and will take some beating in that Toyota Hilux. Al-Attiyah sending out a message to his rivals by winning the opening stage by a 3-minute margin. In second place was Carlos Sainz, the winner of last year's Dakar. The former World Rally champion turned 58 this year, but he is still as quick as ever. A smooth outing in the mini buggy for Sainz and his co-driver Lucas Cruz. They weren't far behind Al-Attiyah. Stefan Petter-Hansel says that he's happy to be back in the buggy after racing in a 4x4 at the Andalusia Rally. The French legend also getting used to his new co-driver, Edouard Boulanger. But a solid enough day for the French pair. A couple of minutes down on their teammate, Carlos Sainz. Now, if Petter-Hansel is Mr. Dakar, then Yazid Al-Rajhi is surely Mr. Hail. The Saudi has triumphed here on 5 occasions, most recently in 2016. He's looking to make it half a dozen wins this year, although he lost a couple of minutes today because of a puncture. Another Saudi hopeful is Yassir Sayedan, who was 9th at last year's Dakar. He is now racing with Mathieu Serradori's team, SRT Racing. This is his very first competitive outing in the new car. Al-Attiyah happy with a good day's work at the office. Happy to have won the stage. It was tough. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. But yeah, lots of navigation and broken dunes. It wasn't easy. Cheers. Well, a dream start for Al-Attiyah then, but a problem here for Sayedan. A broken gearbox, and that cost him quite a lot of time. But he is still hoping to get underway again on stage 2. The top 5 on the stage, Vasiliev coming in a few minutes ahead of Ten Brinker. "45 vehicles are taking part in the national class, which consists mainly of local crews. Al-Mashna Al-Shamari setting the pace in his Nissan. The Saudi driver was the only man in the category to come home today in under 4 hours. Munif Al-Shamari was a further 12.5 minutes back in second place. A solid effort from the 2 Saudi competitors, although they were still over 45 minutes down on the T1 winner Nasser Al-Attiyah. Here is how the Nationals lined up after a busy first day. The sun rising on stage 2 of Baja Hail 1. The riders and drivers will be heading northwest to the city of Juba, which is famous for its rock carving. Around 275 kilometres of special section to cover before celebrating the winners of this first 2-day event. Now, even if the Juba area is renowned for its agriculture, as you can see here, it's not going to be easy going in the surrounding dunes of the Nefud Desert. Yesterday's stage winner Adrian van Beveren was the first man to get going in the bikes, and it was another comfortable outing for the monster Yamaha rider as he once again took victory by around 25 minutes. Perfect preparation for the Dakar next month. I really enjoyed myself today. Little by little I've been relaxing into a good rhythm, and if the Dakar was starting tomorrow, honestly, that would be perfect. Now, Konrad Dabrowski will certainly be a man to watch in the coming weeks. The Polish teenager securing second place overall behind Van Beveren as he gears up for his Dakar debut. Completing the podium, local rider Michel Algenheim. The Saudi crashed in the camel grass yesterday, but this was a solid performance. Algenheim, who'll be doing the Dakar with no assistance next month, coming home around 40 minutes down on Van Beveren. And he was very happy with his efforts. Yeah, it was a difficult race, but I have to say that I'm very pleased to have achieved this result. There was a pretty tight battle in the quads meanwhile. Riyad Al-Shamari was the overnight leader, and the man from Khail ended up claiming victory by around 13 minutes. He was just ahead of Abdul Majid Akulaifi. The man from Riyadh still did a solid job. He was even quicker than Al Ghanim on the day. Akulaifi forced to abandon last year's Dakar with mechanical issues, but he'll be looking to go all the way as he lines up on the rally again in a couple of weeks. The best of the rest was Anas Al-Ruayani. This is how they finished then, Van Beveren winning comfortably ahead of Dubrovsky. My name is Yasser Saidan. I'm from Saudi Arabia. I'm a rally driver and I also work in real estate. I love motorsport and I'm especially fond of rally raid. My name is Yazid Al-Raji. I'm a Saudi rally driver and I take part in a lot of championships. I hope to be among the best and to make my country proud. I get a special feeling when I'm driving my car. It's an amazing sensation of giving everything that you have, of leaving it all out there on the track. Actually, I think that rally raid is perhaps the only domain in which I can completely express myself. It's a place where I feel totally secure. What I like most about racing is the challenges that you face on the course. I like it when I get a chance to show my technical skills and my racing intelligence in the tough moments. From the moment I started racing and then winning titles, I started dreaming about winning every possible competition and maybe making it into the Guinness Book of Records. As time has gone by, my dreams have got even bigger. The biggest goal now is to win the Dakar, to become the first Saudi to win the Dakar. It would be an incredible achievement, especially here in Saudi Arabia. I'm very thankful to have a big community here. Lots of people who follow my career and my achievements. And I'm also grateful for having a big, supportive family. It's actually quite different from people back in Europe because I have a large number of siblings. My family and my siblings are my primary motivation for everything that I do. Baja Hile's given me the first opportunity to drive my new car. So this event is bound to be good training for me ahead of the Dakar. I'll try to make the most of it and get used to the new vehicle. Just try to understand exactly how it works. In rally events, I love that we get to visit places that are usually inaccessible. I also love the extreme speed and the fact that you have to pit your wits against the course. Well, it's all to play for in the FIA class of the cars. Only 13 minutes separating the top 5. There is a bit of a gap to first. We're looking to catch up with the guys in third. Now Yazid Al-Raji recovered from his puncture yesterday to finish 4th on stage 1. It was a pretty similar story for the Saudi star on day 2. He was once again 4th quickest. In fact, the top 4 overall on this event was the same top 4 as you had at last year's Dakar, albeit in a slightly different order. Al-Raji looking slick in his overdrive Toyota Hilux. He was only 6 minutes or so off the pace. Carlos Sainz was 3rd on the day. The Spanish legend keeping things nice and smooth in his mini buggy. This the sort of handling that you would expect from a 2-time World Rally champion. Keeping it on course and coming in 2nd overall. Well, Sainz was just ahead of his teammate Stefan Petter-Hansel. These two giants of Rally Raid have won 4 of the last 5 editions of the Dakar. That's not bad going for a duo who have a combined age of 113. Petter-Hansel, though, is as evergreen as they come. The 13-time winner of the Dakar, 2nd today, securing himself a spot on the podium. It wasn't bad, no problems, a good warm-up for Dakar, we're ready. But none of the big guns could match the pace of Nasser Al-Attiyah. A 2nd stage win and an overall victory for the Qatari. He now has 3 wins at Baja in as many participations. Today we were very fast, and we've done a really solid job over these 2 stages. The car's perfect and the terrain is ideal. This is definitely the best way to prepare for the Dakar. Vladimir Vasiliev rounding out the top 5 in the FIA standings. Now we've heard all about Salah El Saif, and the Saudi driver secured a brilliant victory in the T3 class, finishing within an hour of Al-Attiyah. T4 honours, meanwhile, went to the experienced Dutch driver Kees Koelen. He's been competing in the Dakar for over a decade. Well, the sun also rising in the Nationals class, with the domestic drivers set to slog it out over the sand. A fine effort from Mata Al-Shamari in his Nissan pickup. He would come in 4th on the day and 2nd overall. Now Martin Prokop was unable to join the rest of the elites in the FIA class due to logistical problems with his car, affectionately known as Shrek. The Czech star enjoying a day out with the locals instead. Now how about this for a battle between 2 of the contenders in the Nationals? Salah Al-Abdulali in car 636, Al-Mashna Al-Shamari in car 600. The Hummer and the Nissan going blow for blow over the dunes. And in the end, yesterday's stage winner Al-Shamari couldn't quite keep pace in the white car. No stopping Al-Abdulali in the green. He would win the stage and earn himself a spot on the podium. But Al-Shamari took the bigger prize, celebrating overall victory as he reached the finish line. The stage was really interesting today and lots of fun from start to finish. I'm so happy that we got home safely with this result. The time flew by, honestly. We were having so much fun. Here's how they lined up in the Nationals class at the end of Baja Heil 1. It's time for part 2 of this Baja doubleheader with another 2-day spin through the Nefud Desert. The competitors will have had a chance to sample some of the local scenery over the weekend, but it was soon back to work. The mechanics busy gearing up for Baja Heil 2. Essa Aldosari, the winner of this event in 2018 and 2019, keen to get going again. It's very nice terrain, although it varies throughout the stage with stones and sand, etc. Really nice, but very tricky. You need good navigation, and you have to be focused because there are lots of drops. You really have to pay attention. The big guns are ready for another rumble in the cars, with Nasser Al Attiyah targeting a second victory and the FIA World Cup title. Yeah, of course, it's nice, you know, because if we go back a little bit to the Andalusia Rally, we won that, and we came here for Baja 1, which I won as well. Baja 2 is another race. I'm sure that everybody wants to win, but yeah, we have a good plan and we're just trying to manage things well, get another nice victory and win the title before Dakar. That would be amazing. Well, this is the longest of all 4 stages this week, 311 kilometres around Baja to the northeast of Heil. An early start as ever for the bikers. Adrian van Beveren is the man to beat, although it's also worth keeping your eye on local rider Michel Algenheim as well as Polish youngster Konrad Dabrowski.
Yeah, definitely a fast track. Maybe some tricky dune crossings, but not a lot of dunes. I don't expect a lot of dunes.
So he's the local, so we have to trust him.
So the bikers and the quads getting underway. Abdelmajid Akulaifi came second in the quads during the first Baja. The man from Riyadh looking to go one better here. But it wasn't an easy day for navigation. Algenheim losing his way a bit, even if he later explained that he'd been extremely focused at the start. The Saudi biker soon caught by Riyad Al-Shamari, who knows these tracks like the back of his hand. The local man looking to double up after winning Baja Heil 1 in the quads. Well, arguably the performance of the day went to this man, Anas Al-Ruayani. 4th quickest last week, but today he was second on his KTM. He was faster than both Dabrowski and Algenheim. This man, though, untouchable. A 3rd day of racing, a 3rd victory for Adrian van Beveren. The French star looking comfortable as he continues to gear up for the Dakar, although he once again admitted it wasn't all plain sailing around Baja. I had a couple of close shaves actually, opening the piste. Slightly broken dunes with drops behind them. On the bike I was able to change tracks, but in the cars, I mean, given how they were battling up at the front, I wouldn't be surprised if they have some problems a bit later. Smiles all around then, Van Beveren taking the win by just over 35 minutes. Now, how would you fancy a driving lesson from a 3-time Dakar champion? French driver Ronan Chabot was lucky enough to go for a spin with Nasser Al Attiyah, the winner of Baja Hail 1 and a master of the dunes.
No problem. You will. Thank you very much. No problem. My pleasure. You start? Yeah.
Today Chabot is with the Toyota team. He's got a new car and it's the same as mine. So of course I want to give him some tips and help him out as much as possible.
You know, you need to always use the cars easily.
Yes,
you know?
I saw.
You put here. No, here no. Here always you do this one. But when you do here, you control here. You know. Yeah, and you know the gears when you change, clack, clack like this, not like this, not like this. Always touch, pam, 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 pam. Always good gears before the corner. It seems so easy when you look at it. It's easy. So we change? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It seems so easy when he's behind the wheel.
Now switch. Yes. You're driver, I'm co-driver.
I'm going to be Chabot's co-driver for the first time. I hope it all goes all right.
Always with the right gears and not too much throttle, you know, and just I keep everything simple, very smooth. That is perfect, you know, if you do it like this with this car, it's very good.
Going faster doesn't mean going flat out, going into the drops like a madman. He makes the difference because he's a desert fox. He reads the dunes so well. He's always looking what's behind them, so he knows what's coming next. And he explains things very clearly. So it was nice. Thank you, Nasser. Onto the cars, and there is a lot to play for over the next 2 days. 7 crews can theoretically win the FIA Baja's World Cup. Bernhard ten Brinker is just half a point off the lead.
Yeah, we lose some points the last Baja, and now we need to push in front of Vasiljev, and of course we need as close as possible behind Nasser, and yeah, let's see how it's going.
Well, this is the man who leads the way in the FIA standings, Vladimir Vasiljev. The Russian won on home soil back in February before lockdown, and he managed to come 5th today, with ten Brinker down in 7th after a couple of punctures. Well, several of the top drivers could also snaffle the crown, although Yazid Al-Raji isn't one of them. The Saudi star contenting himself with a solid outing in that Toyota Hilux. He was 4th today, and he's still in contention for a 6th Baja Hail title. Well, no prizes for guessing the top 3. Stefan Petter Hansel on the bottom step of the podium as he continues to iron out the kinks with his new co-driver, Edouard Boulanger. Mr. Dakar cruising along nicely. Well, Nasser Al Attiyah was untouchable during the first Baja, storming to victory by winning both stages. But it turns out he's human after all. The Qatari, who is openly targeting another World Cup crown, in 2nd place. He too had a few issues with punctures. One 3-time Dakar champion, pipped by another 3-time Dakar champion. Carlos Sainz going fastest on the day. The reigning Dakar winner enjoying a trouble-free outing. Putting that mini buggy through its paces and coming home around 2.5 minutes ahead of Alatia. No problems, a very smooth day today. When you start a bit further back, it's always easier. So the usual suspects leading the way, but who is going to take that World Cup title tomorrow? On to the Nationals class with Salah Al Abdulali getting underway here. Car number 636, third overall at Baja Hail 1, after winning the second of the two stages. And the Saudi driver looking to do an even better job this time around. Al Abdulali really looking on form again. That Hummer cruising along very nicely indeed. Now this is Swedish star Mattias Ekström. He's driving an all-new prototype SSV that's been developed by Yamaha and X-Raid. The former Rallycross world champion and a multiple winner of the Race of Champions, warming up for his maiden Dakar with an impressive 4th place. Well, after coming second on stage 1 of the first Baja, Munif Al-Shamari lost a lot of time on stage 2, but he's back in contention here. Coming third on this first stage. Second place going to Al-Mashna Al-Shamari. He was the winner of Baja Hail 1. Al-Shamari's been having a whale of a time in his Nissan, the number 600. Another solid effort today, but he missed out on the stage victory by a couple of minutes. Al Abdulali making it back-to-back wins in his Hummer. After the first 70 kilometres I managed to take the lead, so I had 6 minutes in hand over the guys chasing me. After that there were lots of obstacles over a stretch of around 20 kilometres. The track was tough and I was forced to slow down so that I didn't damage the car. For the rest, it was pretty wide open spaces, so I was able to cruise along at high speed, approaching 180 kilometres an hour. I'm very, very happy to have won this first stage with no problems. Hopefully I can secure the victory tomorrow and stand on the top step of that podium. This is the Hail Museum, located in the historic centre of the city, owned by Mr. Khalid bin Hamoud Al Matrod. He and his family have lived here for generations. Built more than 70 years ago, this private museum is a celebration of local heritage, housing artefacts such as clothes, tools and weapons. Now back to sporting matters, this is what awaits on stage 2. At 180 kilometres, it'll be the shortest outing of the week. So on to the final day in the bikes and the quads.
Morning.
The last big training session, 180 kilometres to go. More tracks today, I think. It's been a really complete event. I'm delighted with my experience here. Well, no wonder Adrian van Beveren was delighted. The Frenchman completing a clean sweep at Baja Hail. A perfect 4 wins out of 4 for the Yamaha factory rider. Simply untouchable in the bikes. He did get lost at one point today, citing an error in the road book. But no matter, he still took victory. Van Beveren warming up very nicely for the Dakar Rally. I got a bit lost, but I'd rather do that here than in 3 weeks' time on the Dakar. I'm more than ready. Now, aside from Van Beveren, the big winner today was Michel Algenheim. The Saudi set off in 4th position, but he managed to close the gap on the men ahead of him. Quad rider Riyad Al-Shamari, as well as his fellow biker Anas Al-Ruayani. Algenheim playing a brilliant tactical game as he took 2nd place overall behind Van Beveren. It's been a superb experience. The rally was fantastic. It's excellent training for the Dakar, and it's really helped to boost my confidence before next month. There were plenty of differences between Bajas 1 and 2, lots of variation in the terrain, but they were both rapid and technical. Al-Ruayani had to settle for 3rd place overall then, but he's surely been the revelation of this Baja Hail. The Saudi doing a very solid job throughout the event, and he got to the end without suffering too much fatigue. He was 3rd today, behind Algenheim, but ahead of Poland's rising star, Konrad Dabrowski. Victory in the quads went to Abdelmajid Akulaifi. The Riyadh native finished 2nd overall at the first Baja behind Riyadh Al-Shamari, but this time the roles were reversed. Akulaifi 5th on the day and beating his fellow Saudi Al-Shamari by just 2 minutes overall. Van Beveren almost an hour clear then, Algenheim pipping Al-Ruayani by just 10 seconds. Meet the latest member of the Yamaha family, a prototype lightweight vehicle that's been developed in association with X-Raid.
The main thing what we changed is the chassis. So it's a completely new chassis with a new roll cage. The engine moved a bit forward, so your weight distribution is different. On a normal side-by-side, everything or most of it is at the rear. Suspension itself is a Riga suspension at the moment. The shock absorbers are more upright, which gives you a different feeling in the car. It's not moving that much in the corners as a standard one.
2 of these YXZ 1000R models have been in action at Baja Hail 2, and they'll also be lining up on the Dakar.
Every single kilometer was a surprise for me. I think that it reacts more like a buggy, more like a car, than a side-by-side or the stock side-by-side that I used to race with.
My first feeling is that the suspension is optimized more for the low grip, which you get when you drive in the dune-like nature. So there you need the car to be very soft and compliant. The engine is a 3-cylinder and has no turbo, so you have to rev the engine all the time, around 8 to 10,000 to have the maximum power.
This is the logical step that we have to move forward and to have a vehicle ready to rally with a reasonable price.
Driven for the very first time during shakedown, these prototypes have since enjoyed a baptism of fire on Baja Hail. A World Cup title at stake perhaps, but no stress for Nasser Al-Attiyah and Mathieu Baumel this morning.
There is only one option. We need to catch Carlos if we want to win, so yes, no option. We need to push.
Always nice to see the spirit of Rally Raid on show before getting down to the serious business of racing. Here's Yazid Al-Raji, the 5-time winner of Baja Hail. Now the Saudi hasn't quite been able to match the pace of Al Attiyah or the 2 mini buggies this week, but he still remains a fierce competitor. Al-Raji really putting that Toyota Hilux through its paces. He was 3rd today and came in 4th overall. Stefan Peterhansel is a master at staying out of trouble. A clean run today for the Frenchman to come 2nd and finish on the podium. Well, yesterday's stage winner Carlos Sainz said it's always easier coming from behind and following the tracks. Not so straightforward though when you have to open the piste. The Spanish legend losing a few minutes today as he came in 4th on the stage, just missing out on victory at Baja Hail 2. Well, this morning's coffee clearly did Nasser Al Attiyah no harm. And after coming 2nd behind Sainz yesterday, the Qatari came roaring back in this final stage. Well, no question that this duo will be very hard to beat on the upcoming Dakar. Al Attiyah and Baumel completing a sensational hat-trick. They took the stage win, overall victory at Baja Hail 2 to go with their overall victory at Baja Hail 1 and the FIA World Cup crown. Well, that at least was what they thought when they crossed the finish line. We won the 2 Bajas and managed to secure the World Cup title. I'd like to really thank the Saudi Federation as well as Prince Khalid bin Sultan. I also thank all the race officials and I hope to see everybody back here again next year. Thank you. A twist in the tail though. Several hours after the race, Al Attiyah was handed a 2-minute penalty for speeding, handing victory at Baja Hail 2 to Carlos Sainz. That also meant that the World Cup crown ended up going to Vladimir Vasiliev. It wasn't all bad news for the Al Attiyah family though. Nasser's younger brother Khalifa secured victory in the T4 class. A great effort before his Dakar debut. We managed to get into 1st position today. I'm really happy that we made it here to the finish line safe and sound. It's a great achievement, and now I look forward to getting back to action at the Dakar. Well, so much for a dramatic day in the FIA class, but what about the nationals? Al-Mashna Al-Shamari getting underway here. He had 2.5 minutes to make up on the overnight leader, Salah Al-Abdul Ali. Well, Al-Shamari seeking back-to-back victories at Baja Hail, but he just fell short. 2nd on the day and 2nd overall. Now here's a reminder that in Rally Raid, trouble is never far away. Came in here, went like this, and that was game over. No such drama for Munif Al-Shamari. He was around 6 minutes off the pace yesterday, so today that car 601 really went for it. Al-Shamari fastest on the day in his Nissan Patrol. Just cruising over those dunes. A brilliant stage win, enough to earn the Saudi driver a spot on the podium. Today was excellent. The competition was intense, the other drivers did a great job, but so did our car. Everything went really well for us, and I hope that we've managed to gain 1 or 2 positions. Thank you to everyone. Overall victory though at Baja 2 went to Salah Al Abdulali. Yesterday's stage winner keeping things very tight in his Hummer. An absolute unit of a vehicle. Third place on the day was enough to secure the Nationals crown. We were first to the finish line today, and I'm really happy to have at least got through the stage. The competition was tough. We had to be extremely focused. We were pushing hard, driving very, very fast, so concentration was vital. Luckily, we managed to find all of the waypoints along the way, and hopefully we'll have secured first place. Thanks very much, everyone. Well, secure it they did by 1 minute and 46 seconds. The top 5 rounded out by Swedish star Mattias Ekström in that prototype Yamaha. Thanks for joining us for Baja Heil, and bye for now.